The big reward that everybody is looking for, the 300-meter 20 speed ring. This is, of course, a very, very good reward, and it's sadly not guaranteed. But let's take a look at what the odds of you getting this are, because if you're following the proper route, they are pretty good, though it would be nice if they had some sort of pity for it. So, following this route that, we've gone over a bunch of times, you pretty much try to front load all of your losses, because whenever you lose, you'll of course lose all the cannons that you use to get to that point, which means that you want to die as early as possible. With this in mind, we save all of our power-ups for the end. I've seen a lot of people mention that they're dying at like certain points going for 300, but if you're going for 300, your last RNG check should be at 210. You should never have a single RNG check after 210 if you're aiming for 300, because we run up into double super lucky, and you literally, if you hit 210, it's a 67% chance to get your ring, pretty much. And you can see we pretty much just save all of our power-ups for as late as possible and just try to front load as much of the RNG. With that in mind, we have about 148 drinks expected to get your 20 speed ring, which converts to about 13,000 energy or 166 leaves, though of course you're going to have a lot of natural energy plus the free drinks that we get. So it's not going to, just be actually this amount of leaves, but expected is not great for things with such large RNG like this, so we're going to also take a look at the probability of you getting that ring. If you spend 109 drinks, we have a 50% chance of having hit the ring already. 198 gets you 75, 315 is 90, 403 is 95, 609 is 99, and 904 is 99.9%. This of course assumes that you are following this optimal 300 meter route. If you're not following this route, you're going to have much worse odds overall, and then of course you're going to need to spend more drinks to get the 300 meter 20 speed ring compared to other people that are following this. And then we do have to keep in mind, it costs 350 drinks to hit level 5. This assumes level 5 in the first place. Your odds of getting the ring without level 5 are not very good. But we also need to look at just how much are we getting for drinks, because what if you start the event at 0 leaves? Not even new players get a bunch of leaves, right? But let's just say like you're a returning player or a veteran who blew all of his leaves for some reason on a previous buff event and you're at 0 leaves. What's your status going to look like? One drink is about 90 leaves, or 90 energy, because it's 100 energy for one drink, but you have this 10 energy drinks gives you one drink thing, and then when you use this drink, it'll also progress back towards this track. It's like a cashback, but what, like drinks, like drink back. It ends up being 90 energy per drink. So we can convert this to about 1.125 leaves. We get 7 leaves and 5 drinks daily over 63 days, and this is only looking at the ones that were 100% guaranteed, because we have 5 daily, right? 5 daily check-in. This was 63 days, even though we're like 10 days in, I'm still going to count it because you would have gotten it already. In the Epic Dash Pass, we have 5 leaves a day here, and then also just 2 here. Some additional leaf sources, this Epic Dash Pass itself, I think so in some of the later weeks, you have a bunch of leaves, and then you also have 1 leaf a week here. It's about 60 leaves regardless of your account state. We also have web events. This is 3 leaves a week, or 3 leaves a day here. This lasted 3 weeks. We'll probably have like 2 more events before the Epic Dash goes away. A lot of this currency you can spend on energy here as well. And then there's other leaf sources like web events or stove events. Whenever we have the maintenance or just weekly updates, you get leaves there too. Sometimes we just get a bunch of random leaves, that sort of thing. And then for energy, you have 360 energy a day, 100 from GMRK, optional 100 from ads. The shop gives you 200 as well. You have 120 from Arena, and then you have 40 and 40, one for friendship, one just completely for free. And then your guild will give you 80 depending on your guild mastery. So we can say here it's 50 at level 3 and then 30 at level 7. So this is also going to depend on your guild rank. In the guild shop as well, you can buy cores here. I think if you're somebody who has like every RGB unit, it's not great efficiency, but you might as well buy this because nothing else to really buy. So I will be buying these. This is kind of like free energy. to essentially, because the cores count as 160 energy. But that is general. Oh, there's also like, like Automaton Tower or like Side Story. Side Story gives you a few leafs as well. You actually go net positive in energy on that one. So there's like a bunch of random leaf sources besides the guaranteed ones. But looking at just the guaranteed ones, well, daily energy is 660 to 840. It says about 850 to 950, just like with like, some slightly varying amounts of daily energy. It's about 850 to 950 cans just off of free rewards, and then like I mentioned, I excluded a bunch of stuff that's not like super guaranteed and hard to factor in, but you should expect more cans than just what I listed here. But minus the 350, so we can say like about 600. Even if you're starting this Epic Dash completely from scratch with just like the leaf sources that I mentioned, it's about a 99% chance to get the drink. Now that's still not great because there's going to be that guy, you followed the route perfectly and then you spent 609, I guess technically like almost 1,000 cans and you still didn't get your ring. You're that 1%, which sucks. I think it would have been nice if they had a pity of some sort, just like, I don't know how they would do it. 1,000 drinks used, 1,500 drinks used, something. I think it just feels bad that even if like you're following the route guaranteed and you spend this 1,254 drinks to 99.9% and you're still not guaranteed, it's not fantastic. And because like things just kind of take time, I think, to get implemented because of like, it has to go through like a lot of stuff. We'll see if they actually do anything for this event, but hopefully you guys have enough luck to get this ring, and hopefully it doesn't take you too long. Let's take a look at some other stuff, all the various calculations that we did. So for this one, we didn't do any simulations, we just kind of hard calculated it because this one's a lot easier to work with. One thing about the Matrix is that we stop at some point, and like technically there is stuff that happens afterwards, but especially for 300 it works really, really well because we don't care about what happens afterwards. We're trying to, we just care about what happens at 300. So this is similar to the 200 meter matrix, thanks to Ricky for setting this up again, where you start at 0 and then you're guaranteed to move forward. So then you're at 10 here, and you have a 96% chance to move forward, 4% chance to move backwards, and so on, so on. This just keeps on going forward. And then there are some like complicated parts, like where you have a lot of protect stacking up that kind of get a bit complicated, but then at the end it all converges, and you'll see here it's all ones at the end because this is the section that we just super lucky through. From 210, you have a jump 340, 67% chance like I mentioned, and then it's just straightforward. You are home free the second you pass this 67% chance. Some of the other conclusions, I'm going to remove the freeze frames because this gets kind of wonky to look at. So down here, your expected cost, we already saw this, right? It's 148 energy drinks expected to hit 300 meters once. And then you can also take a look at some of the rewards here, or some of like the things here. Some of these bolded cells is just like how many times you would expect to hit these specific things on your way up to 300. And this you have to add them because these are all 200 meters. It's just at varying protect levels. So adding this all up, it's like, this is roughly 1.6-ish, which kind of makes sense because it's only like going from 200 to 310 is pretty good odds, right? You're really likely to actually move forward from the second you hit 200. But we can also use this to take a look at exactly how much or expected how much gear you're kind of losing on your way there, because you add all this up, you get about 4.42 pieces of gear on average on your way to 300 meters. And then if we instead take a look at how much gear you would have gotten spending these leafs on the 200 meter method instead, you lose about like 11 pieces of gear in exchange for the 20 speed ring. Worth it. Very, very worth it, I think. This is also the visualization map that Ricky made, which just helps a lot with like looking at everything, in my opinion. I'm going to freeze the first two columns again. And then, okay, so over here, this has the back arrows here, so every time you see a back arrow, it's like a fail chance. At the very start, like, very simple, you just move straight forward. This is, of course, because we're saving all of our power-ups, right? And then here, this is where some protects start coming into play. You have, like, the split here because we double protect at 100. And then this is that super complicated section, which is, like, about over here. It's, like, this section that gets really complicated because This is the section where we have like a varying number of protects, and you can like, there's just so many different ways for you to be here and move forward from here that it ends up looking like this. But it all converges here, and you can see 5 arrows going into here. You have 200, a 200, 2 protects with and without the reward, like I mentioned last time, because you can actually hit 202 protects from 2 different ways, and then 1 and 0. So 5 arrows, that's why you see like 5 different things collapse over here. And then once you're here, it's home free, right? 210, you're home free. This is just guaranteed. But this is pretty much everything that we've done for the 200 or 300 meter route. The only other thing is, just in case anybody is like kind of curious, this was the, because we had the thing talking about probabilities for hitting the, I should actually freeze this again. We're going to freeze this again. Talk about like the probabilities of hitting the thing, your probabilities of getting the 300 meter ring. This is, I actually don't know exactly how this is set up. I'm pretty sure he explained it to me, I just don't really understand. But he did something in here, and then if you type in how many cans you're using, it'll give you your odds of making it to 300. So what did we have here? Let's put in 109. When you put in 109, it's 50%. Next up was 198, 198, 75, and we'll just do all of them, because why not? 315, 90, and then, actually I didn't look up what the number was. 403 is 95, 603, or is it 604? Either way, it's like about 99. I think that was probably 604. It was 609. Okay, that gets you 99. And then 904 is the last one, which gets you like 99.9, and then if we just type in more stuff, it would probably like get you, I wonder how much it takes to get to like 99.99. That's pretty much like 1200 cans. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. That's actually everything for the 300 meter push. I personally, this is probably the last thing I'll have to do for this. Just anything with Lucky Dash. Maybe I'll I think I'll save up all my cans and probably blow them at once. But I think the event itself was fine. I liked it. Like, sure, there's RNG, but this was more like, I don't know, I'll call it content. This is PvE content. I had a lot of fun setting all this stuff up, but probably do need a pity, right, for the 20 speed ring, just because there's gonna be that guy. And one thing is, the majority of the player base is not following this. Like, they're just kind of doing their own thing. I think it kind of sucks that people who are just kind of winging it aren't going to be able to get a 20 speed ring. And even people who are, following the optimal route might not get it still.